All right, what's up, guys? We're here to do a last-minute Supercross preview show for 2025 Supercross. We've seen a lot of preview shows coming out. It seems really filtered, really biased, typical media stuff, and we kind of want to come through and just do a different idea, a little bit unfiltered, unbiased, from fans, for fans. Give you an idea of what we're thinking. We've grown up, lived, slept, breathed, dreamed this stuff since we were little kids. We've all rode, and we just kind of have a different of opinion of what's going on. Me and Hunter still have difference of opinions, but we're hoping this gives you guys a little bit more thought process into what we're seeing and what we can expect for the 2025 Supercross Series. So, with that being said, we'll get right into it. For starters here, I'm going to pull up. We've got our schedule for the 2025 Supercross Series. First things first here. Starting it out, we've got A1 this Saturday, January 11th. We're going into Angel Stadium. We'll then go through San Diego, Anaheim, Glendale, and that's going to be our first 4 rounds of this. So we'll start off with the West Coast guys, 250, and we're really expecting a different year this year for 250s, I think. We'll get right into the 250 riders. This is everybody that we have coming up. For the 250 guys, for Honda, we have Chance Hymas and Joe Shimoda. Monster Star Racing. It's not confirmed here, but they have another rider coming in. Cole Davies is going to make his pro debut. It is confirmed to be the West Coast class, which I think is interesting. We'll get into that. But we've got Pierce Brown, Max Anstey, Dax Bennick, Hayden Deegan, Nate Thrasher, and of course Cole Davies. KTM, we've got Tom Vial, Julian Beaumer. Monster Energy Kawasaki, we've got Ty Masterpool, Garrett Marchbanks, Levi Kitchen, Cameron McAdoo, Seth Hamaker. Not on that list is their, I guess you could say, their rookie with Drew Adams. He is not going to be making his debut. He's going to race the Futures class. However, it's confirmed if Mitch loses a rider, then Drew Adams will step in. Gas Rockstar Racing this year, not having any more of the Red Bull sponsorship. We've got Ryder D, Casey Cochran. The only rider for Rockstar Husky this year is going to be RJ Hampshire. And then finally, we have Triumph Racing with Jordan Smith, Jalik Swoll, Austin Faulkner, and Styles. I'll let Hunter tell you guys where we're at on this for West Coast. As of today, this is January 7th. It is still not confirmed on Tuesday before the race where Pro Circuit Kawasaki guys are going. I don't know how that's possible, but it is. We don't know where they're going. We've got an idea. Hunter will tell us where everyone is going, west and east, and then we'll get into 250 guys.
I actually did see right before we hopped on this call. I don't know how accurate it is, but I did see that it's confirmed that Kitchen is going west and will be at A1.
Good. That is
so, good. I mean, it's a pretty reliable source. So we're gonna assume that for these talks that Kitchen's going west, and we're going to assume RJ's going east, which I believe is confirmed as well. So. Obviously, the talk of the town, Hayden Deegan, is going to be lining up at A1. I think he's pretty much everybody's title favorite. It's the obvious pick. Yes, he hasn't won a Supercross title, but it just seems inevitable at this point. I think so. So the heavy hitters on West, I think, are Hayden Deegan, Shimoda, Kitchen, Faulkner, Jordan Smith. And I believe those are most likely the heavy hitters. Obviously everything's up for debate, but those are the top guys that are going to be West Coast.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I know we've got Shimoda going west, a couple of the club guys going west, but really at this point, Hayden Deegan's your clear title favorite. I would argue, and I know we talked about this a little last night, we're both kind of on the fence about it, but I think Faulkner is probably the most realistic option to take down Hayden Deegan if he finishes the series. Now, don't know where he's at mentally, health-wise. I mean, the dude just had brain surgery less than, a couple months ago. I mean, I don't know how the guy's even racing at this point, but I think getting away from PC is going to be huge for him. Get rid of that Cowie curse. fresh start, no pressure. No one expects him to win the title. But there's no doubt that talent-wise and speed-wise, if there's anyone that can take down Hayden Deegan, I think it's Forkner.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised. Well, I'd be a little surprised, but at the same time, not, because he's super talented on the bike. Everybody knows it. This is where Austin and I kind of differ, though. Faulkner's I have him fourth in points for West. I don't see him taking down Deegan. I think he'll win a race, maybe two. I'm high on Jordan Smith, and I still think Levi Kitchen's the solid second place guy on West. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if Faulkner's the main guy that could run with Deegan speed wise. Time will tell.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think he's got a big stepping stone of just getting to the top. If he can get to the top and if he can stay on the bike, there's no doubt he's got the speed to do it. Other than him, though, I think Levi is going to win some races. I think Levi's got the speed. However, I think the games him and Hayden are playing right now are kind of funny. I don't know if Levi's really in a position to say anything to Hayden. I mean, he hasn't really beat him straight up, minus a couple outdoor rounds. I mean, Levi was great last year in the West. Let's face it, he was the guy if McAdoo doesn't take both of them down. But I don't know if Levi can go beat Hayden Deegan in 9 straight rounds. If you think of everything that we've seen between Levi and Hayden, Hayden's the better guy. He's faster. He's more consistent. He's not afraid to get dirty, and I don't think we've seen that out of Levi. I think Levi can get it done, but he's got to elevate to another level that I don't know if Levi has.
Yep, it's kind of the entire community agrees on that. I mean, when Hayden's 9 seconds behind Kitchen in second place with 4 minutes to go, and Deegan still beats him in SMX, it's just not a good look for Kitchen or the entire field for that matter.
Yeah, no, I mean, the guy's fast. He's awesome. He's by far the best guy on PC this year. However, Hayden's on another level. I think Hayden is the jet of our generation of 250 guys. I mean, he's going to be there pretty soon, battling with those guys for a 450 championship, and I just don't know if Levi's going to get it done, but he's definitely going to win some races. I'll tell you that. Next to him, though, you mentioned him a little bit, Jordan Smith. Jordan's an interesting guy. He's been in this class a long time. I don't know if he's the oldest at this point. I know him and RJ are up there, but I don't think Jordan Smith is.
Anthony.
Yeah, Anstey's west or is going east, but he's another old guy. But I don't know if Jordan Smith has the youth to run with Deegan. I mean, him and Smith got into it a few times as teammates, and it didn't really work out in Smith's favor. Smith went down, didn't make a main because of it, and he was not on Star the next year. So I think I think Jordan Smith has a long uphill battle to go to take it to Deegan and Kitchen, a couple of these other guys. I think Jordan Smith is going to be winning some heat races. He's going to be contending for podiums. I just don't know if he's going to get a win.
Yeah, it's a fair assessment. It's also fair to say Hayden has a lot more enemies than friends out there, so it should get fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. We'll bring up the track map here. I'm not going to lie, I haven't even looked at it since it came out. So we'll take a look at it here. Another split start. I don't know how you feel about these. I think they're absolutely ridiculous. I don't see the point of them. Causes. I mean, we saw, what was it, 2020, was it 23 where Faulkner went down in that split start and ended his season before he even get to the first corner. I don't know how I feel about him. I don't like it. But what is nice about Anaheim, and you and I have complained about this for years, is the 90-degree corners. There's no 90-degree corners in Anaheim, minus the one section or the two long rhythm lane sections, which realistically there's never much passing between those rhythm lanes anyway. So I think this track is awesome. I think there is going to be some massive rhythm lanes, and this is a track that these guys are going to have to be on time every single section they go through, or someone's going to make a move and they're going to lose a lot of time.
Yeah, I think I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure A1 was the best or top three track last year. It's always pretty good.
Yeah.
There's not that many 90s. Split start. I like the split starts. I don't mind them. It looks good. I mean, the 9 whoops thing we could talk about for years. That's terrible.
Yeah. I
Just
don't like it.
participation trophy for guys that aren't that good in the whoops. Triple, triple, triple. Only having to literally touch ground twice in whoop section's ridiculous for Supercross. But other than that, this track looks good. I'm looking at it over here. It probably will be a top 5 of the season track, as it always is.
Yeah, A1's always a blast. You and I go very often. You go every year. I've gone quite a few times. I mean, there's just something different with A1. The stadium, the vibes you get there. But I think this track map is definitely one of the best tracks that we've seen in a long time. I like that there's no 90 degrees. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be tricky. The guys are gonna have to be on their A game. So, with that being said, we've touched on a little bit of the 250 guys. We'll bring through some of the other ones. I'll bring back up the 250 riders here just so we can discuss it a little bit. As far as the guys that are going west, we've got Shimoda. Sounds like it's going to be Cole Davies, Hayden Deegan, and Michael Moseman, which is a pretty forgotten name, I think, in the moto world right now. But Cole Davies, Michael Moseman, and Hayden Deegan going star. I think it's safe to say Hayden Deegan's the only one that's going to be at the top with Star. What do you think of Davies, though? He had a really good showing in the amateurs. I think it's kind of crazy to throw him into the deep end already without much time on Star. I think he'll
I
make
think,
mains. I don't think he's going to be a big name, though.
yeah, I think he's going to miss a lot of mains. He'll make a few. I think Drew Adams would spank him. That's where I'm at with that.
Yeah, definitely. Julian Beaumer, dude was awesome in his rookie debut last year. I mean, he led laps his very first race at A1 last year. I think he'll have flashes of speed. Unfortunately, he seems to I guess fade a little bit towards the moto end of the motos. I don't know if his fitness is any better this year. I don't expect much out of Beaumer. Hopefully he has a great season. PC still unheard, but I think we're pretty clear on it at this point. Sounds like it's going to be Levi Kitchen and Garrett Marchbanks. Levi, again, I think he's going to win races. Marchbanks, I'm not really too high on Marchbanks this year. I think him leaving club was a mistake. I think that Yamaha fit him better. I think he had a better overall environment over there rather than PC. I don't know if we see Marchbanks on the podium this year.
No, I I doubt it. I mean, he's returning to this team that he was really vocal about. He didn't appreciate how they dropped him already in the past. It's like rekindling a relationship with your ex-girlfriend. It's spoiled
Yeah.
milk. I don't see it going well.
Yeah, I don't know why you would leave the PC curse, have some of your best results on a 250 yet, someone that'll let you get a 450 ride, and then you leave them for an, like you said, an ex-girlfriend. I don't see it going well. Levi will win races. I don't see PC getting a title though. Then we go to Gas Gas. Ryder D. I like Ryder D. He was an amateur phenom. The kid, we've known about him since he was 3, 4 years old on a Cobra, but he hasn't put it together this year. Where do you have him? 5 to 10 guy at best.
I think he's going to hole shot a lot. I think he'll get a couple top fives. 6th or 7th in the points, probably.
I think top 5 in points for Ryder D at the end of the year would be a monster win for him.
Yeah, I think so.
Then we go to the defending West champ, RJ Hampshire. It is confirmed as of today he is going East Coast. Kind of a bummer for him. He doesn't get to run the number one, but we'll get into the East in a minute. I think RJ locks up that East title, but it'll be a bummer to miss him at A1. And then we get into Triumph. We've already talked briefly. Jordan Smith and Austin Forkner. Both those guys capable of winning races. I think Forkner is going to be Deegan's number one title threat, and I cannot wait to see what he can do on that Triumph. I hope fresh start, fresh mindset, no more injuries. I hope that dude can come out and shut up the haters because there is no doubt about it. You can't deny it. He is one of the fastest guys ever to ride a 250. Plain simple. So that's 250s. East Coast, we can touch on it real briefly. I think we'd save that for another time, but we got to talk about it a little bit. I think Tom Vial's in trouble in my mind. I know you're pretty big on Vial as far as a title threat. I think a healthy RJ, no doubt about it. We're on the same page. That dude is probably going to walk away with it. However, we were looking over the names. There's some big dudes going to East this year that if RJ and Vial aren't at the top of their game, that championship is wide open.
Yep, I agree 100%. Now that we know RJ's going East, I do think he's the favorite. I agree. I don't know how healthy he's going to be, but I mean, that's 6 weeks away or so. I think he'll be 100% by then, and if so, I just Tom just is not going to have the speed, but Tom's going to be more consistent in my mind. I think the title is going to be within 10 points, but I would put Hampshire as the number one. I do agree.
Absolutely. I think RJ's probably going to walk away with that title. There's a few names there that I'm excited to see, though. I really think both of us are high on Max Anstey and Pierce Brown. I don't think they've gotten enough attention, and that's part of why we're doing this. There's a lot of big name guys that aren't getting any attention, minus the likes of Hayden Deegan and Levi Kitchen and Vial and RJ. I mean, these guys are their next level, but there's some up and comers that could easily come in there. And we have an incident at Levi last year. Levi had never won a Supercross main event. All of a sudden, Levi's contending for the title. I think that's what we're going to see with Pierce Brown. I think Anstey's going to be really good. I don't I don't think Chance is going to be much of a threat in Supercross. I think he'll be good outdoors. I think Jalik could get some podiums. I don't know if we see Jalik get a win, but I can see him being on the podium every weekend. Vial, I'm not high on Vial. I wouldn't be. It's so hard to say this because it sounds so cliche. I wouldn't be surprised to see Vial defend. I also wouldn't be surprised to see Vial not win a single main event.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. Basically, had to redo this, which you are recording now, by the way, right?
Oh yeah, we're good.
Okay, but I wouldn't be. I mean, I could see Vial not winning a race and still winning the title.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be on the podium probably more than anybody. But I think wins. Yeah, I mean, one. Now that RJ's over there, I see him one, max 2 wins.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll see a pretty good battle between RJ, Vial, maybe McAdoo if McAdoo stays off. I mean, we talked about it yesterday. McAdoo could win a main event. He could not finish a main event and still place top 5 in the standings.
Yeah,
And that's unreal to
he's
say.
gonna be on the ground. He's gonna be on the ground a lot. He's gonna be fast a lot.
Yeah. I think
That's
some
the same with
names.
Pierce Brown. I mean, you talked about him. I'm with you. I'm really high on Anstey and Brown.
Yeah.
Anstey's gonna have a lot of fastest qualifiers. He's gonna have a lot of heat wins, and with top 3 starts, I would not be surprised to have him as a race winner.
Yeah. So with that said, I will wrap up 250s because we got a lot to say about 450s. These guys are just next level. I think RJ's our clear title favorite. I think Vial is really close. I think we'll see him at the front. He'll be a Dungey. He'll be there every weekend. I just don't know how many race wins he'll get. I think Pierce Brown, he's either going to be the Pierce Brown that we've always known, flashes of speed, can't get starts, can't get off the ground, or I think he is going to be RJ's number one title threat. I think Anstey's going to be right there, but Anstey also kind of just has some fluke races where it's like he just doesn't show up. But I think the guys on the hot seat are kind of that make or break. Vial's going to the 450 class next year. KTM's in a weird spot. We don't know if they're going to even have a team next year. Vial's got to impress. I think Pierce Brown needs to prove that he's worthy of a star ride, and he's got the bike now. He's got a nut up or shut up. Anstey, he's getting old. I think he's running out of time. Got to get it done. And then all of PC is on the hot seat. Cameron McAdoo has to finish a season. Seth Hammaker has to stay off the ground, and Ty Masterpool has to prove he can race Supercross.
Yep. Yep. I think there's more. I think Triumph's a better team than PC. I said it before. Say it again.
I agree. Well,
so let's do your top. Let's do our top 5s real quick. Your top 5 in the series for West and for East, and then.
Yep. Pull it back up here. I think I think 250 West, we're going to easily see Hayden Deegan walk away with that title. I would like to say, and I'm going to put it here, I think Forkner comes in second. I think Levi is going to finish third. I think it's pretty close, fourth and fifth, but I'm going to go with Jordan Smith, and then I'm going to bring it home with someone who we didn't really talk about because he's just hasn't been very impressive, but I think Joe Shimoda comes home in fifth.
Yeah, very, very similar here. I got Hayden Deegan, but I'm going Levi Kitchen second. He was really, really good last year. I mean, he just was, but I'd love to see Forkner up there. So Deegan, Kitchen. I'm going Jordan Smith third. I'm high on this guy this year. He was really good last year. Forkner fourth. And then I agree, Shimoda is going to be fifth.
Well, it's not off the rocker. I mean, we've got the same top five guys. It's just where do they
Yeah.
finish from two to four? So for East Coast, I locking it in. RJ's the guy. RJ's coming home 250 East champion. I would say it would be it'd be crazy to not put Vial second, but I'm gonna go with Pierce Brown. I think Pierce Brown's gonna be a problem. I put him second in the championship. I'm gonna go Vial third, Anstey fourth, and it's so hard with fifth, but
Fifth is insane for East.
it's so tough, man.
It can be four different guys.
It really could, and I know where you're at on this, but if McAdoo stays off the ground, even if he doesn't, I don't know. I can see McAdoo finishing fifth in this series. I can see him not finishing it at all, but I think I'm gonna have to go fifth with McAdoo.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, I'm also RJ first. I think Vial. Oh man. I mean, this is tough. I think Vial does bring it home in second just because the 9 whoops thing. I mean, he's just gonna be good at every track because of that. Um, and I really struggle with 3 through 7, honestly. Third, I'm going Max Anstey. I think Pierce just crashes too much. Third, Max Anstey. Fourth, I've thought about this a little bit more than last year or than yesterday. I think I'm going to switch it up. Fourth, I'm going McAdoo, and fifth, I'm going Jalik Swoll. I'm going to leave Pierce Brown out of the top 5. I think him and Hymus battle for that 6th position, but the dude just crashes a ton, and I'm not convinced the new bike's going to change it.
No,
Speed, he's going to be insane. He's going to be in the podium, and he's going to crash out of the podium at least twice.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. Well, this is what we've been waiting for, and I'm excited to get into it. Let's talk 450s, man. I mean, we say it every year. Deep field, it's the most stacked it's ever been. There are, I believe, they said 8 past champions on the line this year, including the back-to-back world champion of Jorge Prado. So we'll throw him up first. We've got Jorge.
I think there's more than 8, I think even. I know there's 5 450 Supercross champions alone, which is crazy.
Well,
but yeah.
Let's talk Jorge. I'm big on this guy. I think let me put it this way. Jorge is both completely slept on and overhyped at the same time. And I don't know how you can say that, but you can, because there are so many people right now that believe Jorge Prado is going to come out and he's going to compete with Jet Lawrence in Supercross. It's not going to happen. Jorge Prado is a world champion in motocross. The guy came over last year. He won a heat race in mud. That does not translate to 17 rounds of Supercross. Everyone needs to slam on the brakes with this guy and do not pull a Star Yamaha move and expect this guy that you just signed to win a race year 1 in 450 Supercross. Like we just said, there's 8 champions on the line. There's multiple guys on the line. I can't name a guy who's going to be on the line this year who either didn't win a 250 championship or didn't win a 450 championship. Jorge Prado's never raced Supercross. The guy is a stud. He is so talented. I'm so pumped he's here. Give Jorge Prado a year. Let him learn Supercross. Don't put expectations on him. If Jorge Prado comes home in top 10 in points, that should be considered a win. This guy is an immediate title threat when he gets outdoors. He is going to make it rough on Jet Lawrence in outdoors and Chase Sexton as well. But he's not going to win a 450 Supercross main event this year. It's not going to happen.
I don't even think he podiums. I'm a guy who thinks he's overrated. I like him. I think he's gonna be podium in outdoors in the series. I don't think he gets a podium unless there's a mutter.
Yeah.
I think realistically, if Prado comes out of this season and gets a couple of top fives, I would think he had a great season, and I would not blame him one bit. I think that'd be great if he has 3 to 4 top fives. I think that's a win for him. I mean, you got to see the guys that he has to beat to even get a top 5. Like, he's gonna have to be slamming Hunter Lawrence, Plessinger, Ando to get there. Kenny. So
he's got to go against, like we just said, former 250 and 450 Supercross champions to battle for 5th place.
Let's go through really quick. Jet Lawrence, champion. Hunter Lawrence, he won last year, right?
250 champion.
Cooper Webb, champion. Tomac, champion. Craig, champion. Justin Cooper, did he win 2 years ago?
He won 250 Supercross championship.
Champion. Sexton, champion. Plessinger, did he win a 250?
Yep, 250.
Champion.
And Moto champion as well.
Ando, champion. Kenny, 250 champion. Colt Nichols, 250 champion. Justin Barsha, 250 champion. Malcolm Stewart, 250 champion. The only guy in the list we have pulled up that's not is Colt Nichols.
Colt Nichols won a 250 championship.
Or sorry, not Colt Nichols. Kyle Chisholm.
Yeah.
Kyle Chisholm's like the only one. Even, I mean, Ferrandis isn't on this list. He's a champion.
Yeah. And then if you want to talk about some privateers, we got Justin Hill, 250 champion. Dean Wilson, 250 champion. I mean, I know Dino's not racing the full series. But even the privateer guys that aren't even on factory rides this year, have won 250 Supercross championships. Jorge Prado has never raced a full season.
Is a tall task.
Yeah.
I think if he comes off the line in 9th place more often than not, I'm thinking, like, dude, it's a good starting point.
You know where I put Prado, and people might call me crazy on this. I think Jorge Prado and Adam Cincerulo, prior to Adam's retirement year, are going to be very similar. He is going to be battling with the likes of Shane McElrath, Justin Barsha, Malcolm Stewart for that 10th place spot. It's inevitable. The guy, if he gets a single top 5 this year, that's a win for Jorge.
That's what I'm saying.
If we start seeing him, one more thing on Jorge. If we see him consistently battling for top 5s this year, do you consider him a title threat next year?
No. I don't think I don't think he will be a Supercross champion likely ever, as long as he's racing against Jet Lawrence.
Jet excluding, though, you got to think. We had Marvin Musquin, Dylan Ferrandis. We've had Tom Vial. You know, we can even go far back, David Villeman. All these guys that have come from the GPs. Jorge, with a couple years, I don't know if it's next year. Give Jorge a couple years, he's going to be at the front.
I think he'll win a few Supercrosses in his career, but I would bet my house he doesn't win a title in the next 5 years at least.
Do you think he wins
Supercross?
Do you think he wins main events as early as next year?
A dry main event? No.
Okay. Well, that's fair. I can't argue it. I mean, the guy he's an outdoor specialist, and like I said, I think once we get to outdoors, that is going to be Jet Lawrence's biggest problem. But let's get into someone I know
Let's stay on Cowie though. Actually, let's go. Okay. Let's just finish Cowie off real quick.
Let's go. Okay, let me pull up some things.
Because Ando's a fun one to talk about.
Get into Anderson then. We'll get into Jason Anderson.
Anderson, I mean, dude, how can you not love this guy? After the Jet Lawrence thing, how can you not love him even more? The dude is running a flip phone as his primary right now. Barely has internet. This guy, he can come out. Nobody is surprised if this guy gets 5 race wins.
No.
But it's also not going to be surprising if this dude struggles to be in the top 5 again. I think for everybody's, I mean, from a fan's perspective, we hope all these guys are at their A game.
Yeah.
Jorge, Anderson. I think Anderson has a good showing at A1. I have him in the top 5 at A1. Last year, I thought he was going to win A1. The dude was insane. I believe he crashed while he was the fastest guy on the track. I think he does good at A1, and I think he's going to be better than last year. I don't think he can make the podium on the season overall, but he'll definitely. I think I got him for 1 win this season. Mark it down. Jason Anderson wins 1 main event. I think he'll be
Yeah.
better, but he's
It's
not going
tough.
to be.
It's so tough because I think Jason Anderson's up there is a top 3 favorite for both of us, if not the favorite. The guy is awesome. He gives zero fucks at all, and we need that in motocross. He is a more likable Hayden Deegan in my mind, where he just says what he wants, he does what he wants, but he's likable. He's not a shithead about it. He's not a punk. But
Yep.
I don't think we get 2022 Anderson, who wins 7 450 main events and takes the title down to the end for Eli Tomac. I don't think we see that. I don't know if we ever see that Jason Anderson again. He's even come out and said the guys have elevated to a level he doesn't know if he can get to. He wasn't comfortable on the bike last year. He wasn't mentally in it. I think he's getting a little old. I think he's kind of, I guess, settled in to where he's at. I think he believes he can still win races. I don't know if he believes he can win the title. I don't know if we believe he can win the title. I don't know if any of these guys, minus the likes of maybe Sexton, Tomac, and Webb, believe they can win the title. But any given Saturday night, Anderson could go out there and beat these guys by 5 seconds. He is that fast. He's that good. He's that fun to watch on a motorcycle. I would like to say I see him get a win. The only way I think I see Anderson get a win this year is on a really dry track and maybe a Triple Crown.
Yep. He got 1 main event win in a Triple Crown last year, and it was in dominant fashion.
Yeah.
The dude can be fast. He did switch up his training program. Like you said, he's getting older, but so are a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
I think if he doesn't do better this year than last year, I mean, it's over. Like he's not a top 5 guy anymore unless it's this year. Like this is the year.
No, I agree. I think he's on contract year, and we'll get into some of that here in a bit, but he's on a contract year, and you've got Prado, you've got Kitchen who could come up, you've got, you know, there's a lot of 450 guys. There's a lot of 450s. Yep. I think Anderson has to finish top 5 in points, and I think he has to get a win to even justify staying on Cowie.
Yeah,
So,
I think he was solidified until the KTM stuff happened.
Yeah.
Now who knows?
Yeah. We'll get into another guy real quick. He's the only one on this brand, so we'll make it fast. I think both of us are kind of low on him. I'd be curious to see what you think. He's a fan favorite. He's a former world champion, former 250 champion. He's a race winner every year, but I don't know if he's got the speed, and that's going to be Ken Roczen. I think Kenny is getting up there in age. I think I'm a Suzuki guy at heart. You know that. I just don't know if both Kenny and that bike can beat Jet Lawrence every weekend or Eli Tomac, Chase X. I realistically, we'll get to our picks later. I don't see Kenny winning a main this year, and I know that is crazy to say given the stats, given the last few years. He wins every single year. I don't see it this year. I think the likes of Kenny being at the top of his game are done. I don't see Ken win a single main this year.
I agree with you, and if he does, I think it's one with all the stars aligning. It seems to always happen once for him, and the reason why I lean towards him not getting a race win this year is because Chase, Coop, and Eli are all going to be better, and Ando, but also he did very poor in SMX, in my opinion, compared to last year. Last year, he was battling Jet and Chase.
Yeah.
He had fight in him, and this year he wasn't even like. Where was Kenny at SMX? The dude didn't exist, and that's not a good sign for 2025 for Kenny.
No, I mean, if we compare just what you said there, if you look at 2023, Kenny won a race. Granted, it was a mud race, and it came down to the wire. Justin Barcia was on his ass at the end of that moto. He barely won it. He had a lot of podiums. He had a lot. But then you got to SMX, and it was like Kenny had fight in him, and he wanted that title. He wanted to beat Jet. And I don't care what anyone says. He was breathing down the neck of Jet, and Jet folded under pressure. We don't have to talk about it long. Jet saying he let Kenny by. We saw him let Kenny by. I think Jet didn't want to battle him. He did not want to get passed by Kenny. But that Kenny did not show up last year. Kenny had some fight in him, but after that crash, it was like, what happened? You know,
Yep.
2023, he came out to the outdoor race, and he was the only person to almost beat Jet in his undefeated season. Kenny had the best 450 motocross performance of anybody, and he only did one moto. Then he gets to SMX, and he dominated. And then this year, it was like he won a moto, he crashed, and then we never saw Kenny again. I think his finishes in SMX were 5. It was like 5.79, something like that. It just progressively got worse. And then he goes to World Supercross, and he couldn't hang. I think he beat Tomac in one moto.
Yeah, which I mean, even that's surprising. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I think it's same for. I mean, Kenny and Ando are almost in the same position here. Like, both of those guys super talented. They could have the speed to win a race by a
yeah,
long shot. I think it's less likely than not though, or it's
I
more
agree.
likely than not they're not going to win. I think if neither of them take a step forward this year from last year, their career in terms of making the big bucks is done.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So we'll get into one guy. I just want to touch on him briefly, just because he's a favorite of mine, and I hope he has a better year. I know you're not high on the guy, but for me, Christian Craig has a lot to prove this year. He got a 2-year deal from Star. Granted, it's got a little bit of development stuff going on. He's training the 250 guys. He's mentoring Hayden Deegan. I love Christian Craig. I think him going to Husky was a career killer. I think if he stayed on Yamaha, defended his title, came into the 450 class last year, I think we'd be seeing Christian Craig as a Justin Cooper, Hunter Lawrence, Jason Anderson type guy who could win any given weekend, but he's battling for top fives. This year, I don't know, given the injury. It sounds like he might not even race A1. I think if Christian Craig can be inside the top 10 and not fall out of it, I think that's a huge, huge revamp for his career. I know there's no chance he wins a moto. I know there's no chance he probably podiums. I think if he stays in the top 10 all year, it would be awesome to see him be there and then hopefully ride away with, a nice farewell next year.
I'm probably gonna plead the fifth on this guy. Not a lot of stuff not appropriate for YouTube. This guy is uh yeah, he's a good dirt bike rider. I'll give him that.
Well, we'll continue with Star Yamaha. Unfortunately, I think this guy is disrespected. I think Justin Cooper is arguably the fastest guy on the track to get the absolute most criticism. I mean, the dude was, for whatever reason, he's the fastest guy every outdoor season, but he doesn't get the title in 250s, and then everyone writes him off. And then Star Yamaha's over here, like, just, dragging him along like a chick on a chain, who's just sitting there like, hey, just let me string you along here until everyone else that's better is gone, and then we'll put some effort into you. The dude's a stud. He's an absolute stud. He was battling for podiums last year. He was very consistent. I don't remember him falling outside of the top five, minus some really bad starts. You can look it up and see where he finished in the season, but Justin Cooper's a stud, dude, and he does not get enough credit. They want him. Last year was his full rookie year, and they wanted him to be Jet Lawrence. I'm sorry, nobody's Jet Lawrence. But you have Justin Cooper, who is a 250 champion. He's absolutely going to get better. Why would you let this guy walk away if you're Star Yamaha? Yes, you have Cooper Webb. You have Eli Tomac. Eli Tomac's done after this year. Cooper Webb might have 2 more years in him, maybe. He's been talking about retirement for 2 years now. You have Hayden Deegan who's going to be there eventually, but why wouldn't you want Justin Cooper locked in on a multi-year deal who is going to be in podiums, he's going to win heat races, he's going to contend for main events, he's going to eventually be a stud outdoors. Why treat this guy like a Ken Roxon?
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I think he finishes ahead of Kenny in the points. I
Oh
mean, we're
yeah.
talking Kenny here is probably top 3 paid in the sport.
Hmm.
I think I mean this like you said, Yamaha stringing him along and then they just sign somebody out their ass like Christian Craig. I would be pissed if I was J Cube. I think he gets a lot of flack because his personality is kind of dull. Um, Whoever his manager is he needs to fire his manager.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude can do so much better for marketing and branding himself. I think that's his biggest issue. But he also just probably doesn't give a fuck because he's got a billionaire girlfriend and he flies private to every race. Like, the dude
Yeah.
is living his best life. He's fast as hell. I think he could probably podium this year, and there's really only like 5 guys that can do that.
Yeah.
If he gets a start, he's probably going to have a couple pole positions in qualifying.
Yep.
The dude is fast, so
I think we
underrated
see
for sure.
I think we see him, like you said, in multiple fastest qualifiers. He'll win some heat races, and another one of those, triple crowns. 100%, I can see him getting a win in a triple crown, if not the overall at a triple crown. I would not put money on it by any means, but if the stars align, Jet has a bad race, and J Coop gets out front, J Coop could walk away with a main event win.
Maybe,
If
maybe.
stars align, like I said, Jet Lawrence gets a bad start. Something happens to Jet. I think J Coop could win a main event. Everything would have to go really well. Do I think it's going to happen? No. But is it possible? 100%. If you're putting a category of, there's guys that can win, but then there's this little bit of narrow spots where, like, this guy realistically could win a main event. J Coop's in that category.
I think J. Coop and Hunter Lawrence are gonna be near each other a lot, and I think
Yeah.
they're both gonna be good.
And that's next on the list. I mean, you got it. You hit it right on the head. That's the next guy on the list, Hunter Lawrence, and you're right on the money. I think these two guys are going to finish 1 and 2, side by side in the title wherever they're at. I think this could be a 4 and 5. It could be a 6 and 7 at the same time. But Hunter Lawrence, shadowed by his younger brother, I think if I was Hunter Lawrence, I think I'd be crawling in my own skin at this point, knowing that the only reason your brother's who he is because of everything you sacrificed and worked for, and you've been shadowed by your little brother all this time. I think Hunter's another one who kind of gets some slack that is unnecessary. I mean, he started last year not making a main event, had a really bad get off, and then he just kept getting better. And it was like it was Jet and Hunter 1 and 2 every weekend. You go to outdoors, same thing. He's the second best guy to chase. It's like Hunter's always the second best guy. I feel like Hunter Lawrence is the Chad Reed of our generation.
Yeah, he's really, really good. Just hasn't been the best. I think he's also might be the best starter in the field, or he's right up there. He's really, really good
Yeah.
starter, I think, and I think he's gonna put himself in positions to win, but certainly to podium. I don't know if he gets a win. Maybe he does, but I think him and Justin Cooper, I wouldn't be surprised if they both finish ahead of Ando and Kenny in the points. I do have Ando in 5th in the points, but I would not be surprised if it's Hunter or J. Coop that have that 5th place spot in the points behind
Yeah.
the big four.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be good. I think he's going to podium multiple times. I do think he'll take out one of the big four multiple times. Race
So,
win, not sure. Stats will say no, but definitely a podium.
do you think he plays nice with his brother this year, like he did last year? I mean, granted, Jet was in a title fight really early, and Hunter was out of it immediately at round 1. Do you think if we're 3 rounds into this thing and Hunter's top 3 in points and so is Jet, do you think he plays nice, or do you think it's like, no, it's time for Big Brother to shine?
I don't think there will be any. If they're both top 3 in the points, I don't think there will be playing nice, but They're not gonna do anything to take each other out. I don't.
No, I don't. That I guess I should reword that. As far as like playing nice, I mean, it's like it seemed like Hunter moved out of the way a lot last year for Jet. He
Yeah.
didn't really put up a fight. It was kind of like, all right, go do your thing. And I get it. Little bro's gonna win a title. It's big for Honda. It's big for your family. But if we're 4 rounds into this thing and you're in the title hunt, big dude, big brother, little brother, or not, I don't give a shit. Little brother better move if I'm faster that day, or I'm gonna move you. You know what I mean? I just feel like Hunter's just been in this shadow of Jet for so long. It's gotta be eating at him. Like he plays nice in all these interviews. Oh yeah, it's my bro, it's our family, blah blah blah. Dude, I don't care who you are. You've been in little bro's shadow for 4 years now. You're over it.
Yeah. That's true. It's true. Um, I don't really. I'm not a huge fan of either Lawrence brother, but if I
No.
had to choose one, I do like Hunter more. I mean, my
Yeah.
name is Hunter, but it has nothing to do with it. We'll see how he does.
Yeah.
Hopefully he does well. It's good to have another guy that can podium in the sport at the end of the day.
Absolutely. So, do you think Hunter is in the category of J. Coop and O'Kenny of can win, or do you think he's in the big four of will win?
I think the big four is the big four because they will win. Everybody else is a can win
Okay.
guy.
Well, let's
I I let's see. Stats will say we're gonna have 5 winners, right?
4 to 5 winners. The most we've
Is he
had
the
is
fifth?
6.
Would I put him as the fifth over an Ando, a Plessinger in the mud, or a Kenny?
Yeah.
I think so. I think I'd put him as the next likely guy to win. I think I would put him as fifth, yeah.
Yeah. We'll touch on AP a little bit. I feel bad. It's just I'm not. I like AP. Don't get me wrong. Everybody likes AP. AP's a cool dude, but just I feel like AP's never on my radar because it's like it's AP. He's like the Travis Pastrana of today's world. The guy's fast. He's gonna go. Put on a show. Everybody likes him. He's fun, but it's almost like I can't take him seriously. It's like if you get rid of the mud, AP doesn't have a win. Minus what was it, Detroit 2 years ago? I mean, he almost got it done. He did, but I love AP. But it's just like to put AP in a title conversation is hilarious to me. There's so many of these guys. Yeah, I think I saw Jason Thomas talk about. It's like, is AP in the title hunt this year? No, no, he's not. There's not.
No.
I don't know how you could even say that to yourself and say it with a straight face. AP is not fighting for a title. AP will not win a main event unless it is a mud fest. But now you have to go beat Jet Lawrence, Eli Tomac, Cooper Webb, Hunter Lawrence, Jorge Prado, all these guys that are also good in mud. Ken Roxon, Justin Barsha. You're not the only good mud rider anymore, dude. Are you the best mud rider? Probably. Before Jorge Prado got here, I think Jorge Prado could realistically take a win. So could Justin Barsha. That's the only way Justin Barsha wins in my mind. But you're not the only good mud rider. Realistically, I'm sorry. I love you, AP. I don't even have you getting a podium.
If Barsha doesn't win A1, he's not winning unless there's a
No,
crazy mutter.
no.
And even A1 would be a stretch.
I don't think
AP,
Barsha's getting a
I
win.
think AP not getting a podium. I do see that as a hot take. I think he's. I think you can like cash that check in that he podiums this year.
Interesting. I would totally.
Um,
I'd bet the most money on that. I do not see
okay.
no mud.
We should
No
make a
mud.
friendly like $20 wager. I will bet you AP podiums without mud this year. And of course, it could come from crashes, but you're just gonna
Yeah.
have to.
No, I get. No, hey. So you're saying mud aside, no mud race. AP
No mud
gets a
race,
podium.
AP podiums, yes.
All right,
He
let's
was
do it.
legit a factor last year for the first few rounds. Granted, it was like every other race was a
Yes.
mutter.
I think we had 6 mud rounds last year.
It was insane, and it was not fun from a fan's
No.
perspective. It was fun seeing AP win. Other than that, it kind of sucked. But
No. Hey, we're gonna put it. We're on camera. It's going to
I'm taking
YouTube.
that check to the bank.
Okay.
AP gets the podium in dry weather.
All right. I know I'm getting flamed in the comments by all the AP lovers that I'm an asshole. And hey, AP, I love you, dude. You're an awesome dude. AP doesn't get a podium.
Okay, we'll lock it in.
Okay.
$20 or
There
what?
it is. There it is. $20, guys. You heard it. All right. Let's get to a can win, will win, and probably the funnest guy for me to watch in Supercross, Cooper Webb. This dude, I don't care what anyone says. I've met this dude in person. I've rode with him in person. He is one of the coolest guys. Love Cooper Webb. If there is anyone who can play mind games, it is Cooper Webb, and I love it. This dude, mentally strongest guy out there. I know he's not the fastest guy. I don't know. I don't even know where to start on Cooper Webb other than his mental mindfuck games are the only thing that could probably take Jet Lawrence down. I really do. He's gonna win motos. He's gonna be in the title hunt till the end. Where do you have him?
I have him fourth in the points. And
Interesting.
I think he's going to win motos. He'll probably win multiple, and by multiple, I mean 2. However, I was one of those. I'm one of the guys who I'm not a Cooper Webb fan. However, the past 3 years, he's kind of ticked up in my riders that I do like and enjoy listening, talk, and watching. So he's no longer near the bottom. He's not like a Vince Freezy or a Craig or a Jet anymore. He's probably upper middle, so I do appreciate him more now. I
Yeah.
think with age, his personality's come out a bit more, similar with Eli. I mean, very similar type guys in terms of their media career.
Hmm.
But I have him winning at least 2 races. However, last year I would have put him no podium even, and the dude came out and was insane. And now
Yeah.
has a year on the bike. I can see him finishing top 3 in the points and even second again. I could see it, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's Jet Lawrence's runner up.
Yeah. No, that's the thing with Cooper Webb. He could realistically take Jet down for the title. He could also just be there every weekend and not get the main event wins that he needs to win, because let's face it, I think this year you're going to need 6 to 7 main event wins to get the job done, because these guys are going to be so elevated. It's going to come down to who wins the majority of the mains, and Cooper Webb's not going to win the majority of the mains. He's not going to be the fastest guy every weekend, but I think you could see a Ryan Dungey-esque championship out of Cooper Webb, where he is never leaving the top 4. He's not one of those guys that has the bad races. I mean, if you take away, what was it, A1 last year, where he crashed out of second, I don't think Cooper Webb finished out of the top 5 last year.
Yeah, the only problem for him is Jet doesn't either, unless he gets ran by
Exactly.
Barsha.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If Webb were to win the title, it would be because he had a Ryan Dungey Diesel type year where he was in the top 4 every year. He never fell out of it, got a couple wins, and he squeaked into the championship. We all know Jet's the title favorite. It's who can beat Jet Lawrence. But if there's a guy who could be there every weekend, it's Cooper Webb.
Yeah, of the big 4, the only one who benefits from the 9 whoop deal is him.
Yes.
So that he's got that going for him.
Yeah. And he says he
Um,
feels way better than last year too. He knows the craziest thing to see from Cooper Webb is Cooper Webb said in an interview, 2025 Cooper Webb smokes championship winning Cooper Webb. And
yeah,
that's crazy. Because Cooper Webb was a stud in 2019 and what, 2021? Yeah, 21 and 19. I mean, he was a stud, dude. I mean, him and Eli Tomac lapped everybody up to third place in Denver. Like, that's unreal to do in a Supercross race. So I think if there's someone who could take down Jet Lawrence by accident, it's Cooper Webb, and I think it's just because he's going to be there every weekend.
I just don't know if it's possible to beat that guy without the raw speed. Like,
Yeah,
I think he's gonna be fourth in the points. I think the other 2 have a better chance at taking him down.
yeah,
But it's just like you said, you're gonna have to win 6 or 7 to win this title, and it's more than likely 7, because if you put the over under at races won by Jet, there's no chance it's less than 6. Let's be real. Like
no,
I mean, if
it's
it's
who wins
only
7.
6, these guys should be thankful.
Yeah,
And if it's 6, you're gonna have to win 7 because he's gonna be consistent the other. So if you win 7, he wins 6. That's 13. That leaves 4 races for other guys to win. I mean,
we'll
like, you
get into
really start
Jet.
to break down. It's tough.
We're gonna get into Jet in just a sec because I've got some hot takes. I know you think I'm crazy for it. We'll bounce back on Webb a little bit. Let's get into the next guy. I think he's grown
Let's-
on both of us. he wasn't a huge. I wasn't a huge fan. I've never been a huge fan, minus till last year, and I think it's my dislike for Jet that why I like this guy. But Chase Sexton,
Oh, you're skip. Okay, we're skipping over Eli. All right, that's
we'll
fine.
get next to Eli, but Chase Sexton, I think Chase is in a weird spot, dude. I think Chase Sexton going into last year was the fastest guy on a motorcycle. You take away the 22 outdoor season. What year was it when him and Tomac went? It was 22 outdoor season. Him and Tomac just set the bar to another level. We're talking a minute to a minute and a half in front of third place. These guys 30 plus minutes going to town. However, Chase only won one main event in 2022. I didn't realize that. 2023, when he won the title, he only won one
Wasn't
main event.
22 his rookie year?
Or sorry, not 22, 23. 23, he only won one main event, and that's the year he won the title.
Well, I think he only won one main
He
and
only
title year,
won, yep,
right?
yeah, the year he won his title, he only won one main event.
I don't think that's right because he won at least the last one when Eli wasn't there.
He didn't win the last main event. I
Yeah,
checked it
he
on
did.
Racer X. I checked on Racer X before this, dude. I didn't believe it either. He only won one main event in 2023.
I'm not buying that. I'll have to look though, but I mean, building off it, this dude is like, he's probably the guy I would hang out with in real life. He
Yeah,
golfs, he
it's the
says it how
coolest
it
dude.
is. He doesn't like, oh, the bike's great when it's not. He'll tell you how it is.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of raw speed, he's the only one in this field who could beat Jet Lawrence when Jet Lawrence is having an on day. He's the only
Yes.
one
Speed
who could
wise,
beat him.
yes.
Yes, speed wise. He's I like the guy. I think he's going to be better than last year. I think he gets multiple race wins this year. I think he gets more race wins than Cooper Webb. I think he's going to be good.
Okay,
I'm rooting for the guy.
I was wrong. It wasn't 23. It was 22. It's
Yeah,
22.
which I think that was his rookie season, so that's understandable.
So with Chase, I think the biggest thing that we're gonna see this year is he already feels way better. It was last year he went undefeated. He didn't even think he wanted to race Supercross. He was struggling so bad, and he was mentally defeated before he got there. And everyone was tired of losing to Jet Lawrence, and he did it for an entire outdoor series. Then he goes to KTM thinking he's gonna be the next big thing, and he hates the bike. And I can't imagine riding for KTM. Like everyone that's come from there in the last few years has hated it.
He
So
hates it at Supercross. I mean, he
yeah,
did put on a show at Outdoor.
yeah. So then you add in all the KTM woes that are going on, and it's like, where's Chase Sexton mentally? If Chase Sexton is mentally stable, he's confident in his bike, Chase could easily be the best guy out there this year. There's
I
no,
mean, these easily comments are a little wacky, but I know what you're
we've
saying.
never seen Chase go up against Jet being 100%. Chase at 100%. Look at, was it 23? How many fast qualifiers did the guy have? He was
I
the
mean, he was
fastest guy on the track.
100% last year. It was just a new bike.
Oh,
But
he wasn't
he
100.
was a, I mean, his body was just he's on a new
Health
bike.
wise, he just talent wise, no, that was not Chase Sexton's best.
That was his best on that bike.
I think this year, if we get 23, 22 level Sexton, Jet's in trouble.
Is that possible though on this bike? And that's something nobody really knows. And I think he's the biggest wild card of the top four,
Yeah.
and that makes him really exciting. I mean, I'm excited to see him up front. I'm excited to see him and Hunter when they're both first, or him and Jet first and second, and him and Chase not fading or not letting Jet pass.
Yeah.
I hope to see that this year.
Yeah. No, I agree. So we'll get into the next guy. I don't know. I don't know where to put him between him and Chase, and it's going to be Eli. To me, Eli could realistically be Jet's biggest title threat. He could also realistically just be done.
Yeah, I
Eli
know.
could be done.
I
I mean,
know.
he's beast mode. Tomac for me, and I think for you for a while too, I wasn't a fan. I never was like, I was never on the Tomac bandwagon. He was fun to watch. I truly, truly believe, and I will fight this till the end. I think Tomac at his best is the fastest rider in the world ever. I think
Yeah,
I think he beats James Stewart at his best. I think he's better than Jeffrey Hurlings. I think he's better than Jorge Prado. I think he's better than Chase Sexton. I think he's better than Jet Lawrence. The absolute perfect Tomac is the fastest guy to ever throw the leg over a motorcycle, and he rides the bike harder than anybody. Like that dude is. I forget where it was. I think it was Thunder Valley. I went to
it was
Thunder Valley.
Hangtown.
I went to Thunder Valley in person in 20. Gosh, what was it?
Are you talking about his year
2019?
on a Honda or
No,
Cali?
no. It was Cali. I want to say it was 2019. It was 2019. I went to Thunder Valley. Dude, when he rode by us, you felt the ground shaking as he was breaking into the corners. Like you felt the dude from hundreds of feet away on the track. Like he rides a bike so hard and it's unbelievable. Like it's the funnest guy in my mind to watch ride a dirt bike. He steers with the ass end, his body English. He's so fun to watch on a dirt bike. And I was never a fan because he just didn't have a personality. He was just always this tucked away dude who stayed in Colorado and didn't talk to the media, had no personality. And then it was like all of a sudden it was like, oh, he's a regular dude. He's super cool. Like you could go talk to him and he's chill and now he's funny on the camera and stuff and it's like now he's talking shit on Twitter and we get these little snippets of Eli Tomac and it's like, dude, I love this guy now. And it really sucks because he was going to become a three-time champ.
Yeah,
He
I
probably was
really
going
wish
to
he got that one.
he was going to ride away in the sunset and he was going to leave, in my mind, Eli Tomac's a three-time Supercross champ. It sucks what happened to him. He won everything you possibly could. He put Team USA on his back. Dude, he went to frickin' Europe this year and smashed those guys. The only guy he lost to was Tim Geiser and Jet Lawrence. To me, it's like, dude, and that was coming off of a shitty season. Like
That was
Eli
like his third
Tomac,
outdoor race in
yeah,
2 years
and
because he didn't even race outdoor last year either.
no, and you and I were freaking out about this. How the hell AMA and Roger DeCoster said, let's send Aaron Plessinger with Chase Sexton without Hayden Deegan and think, hey, we're gonna win this. No, that would have been Chase Sexton. Even with sending who'd we send? It was RJ, right? No, who did we just send?
Cooper Webb.
Cooper Webb. Yeah, sorry. Cooper Webb, Chase Sexton, and Eli Tomac win that freaking race.
I think so. And I had this conversation with you and other moto buddies. There was a lot of people that were high on AP over the Eli pick. And when you really break down the facts, it's like you've got to, and this is why we wanted to do this show because
Yes.
it just doesn't. There's so many ass kissers. Because yes, AP's probably the coolest guy out there, but
Yeah.
you have to be bonkers and a little brain dead to think
Yeah.
AP was a better pick
No.
than Eli,
Right,
and
well-
Eli showed you exactly why.
Yes.
Dude.
Like, oh, hey, AP, he was better all outdoor season. Eli Tomac had a freaking Achilles injury and then tore his thumb. Yes, he was doing better than Eli Tomac. In one weekend, we saw Eli go from not even being able to keep up with AP to podium, battling for podium.
Yeah, to
And
be
it was
the
like,
only guy to beat Hunter Lawrence, pretty
yeah.
much.
And then it was like, as you put it, the best thing you said is if you have to bet your house on who is going to finish the race first between Aaron Plessinger and Eli Tomac, I don't give a shit what the circumstance is. I am putting everybody's mortgage on Eli Tomac.
Yeah,
How the
I remember
hell?
saying that to you. I remember saying that to you. Yes.
And that's what's driving me crazy right now, dude, is I'm listening to guys like Jason Thomas, Steve Mathis, Jason Wygant, Lewis Phillips, and the other dude from Vital, and all these other guys. It's like, you're going to tell me Eli Tomac, arguably the greatest racer of all time, speed-wise, is in a title threat? Have you lost your fucking mind? It's Eli Tomac. Like, the dude just went beast mode in freaking WSX and won a race. You just forgot he just beat Jet Lawrence, Hunter Lawrence, Chase Sexton, Ken Roxon, Jason Anderson, all these guys. He just did it at the end of last year. And then he goes to World Supercross and makes those guys look like a JV football team. It's Eli freaking Tomac. I don't care what anyone says. You are absolutely out of your fucking mind to think Eli Tomac is not a title contender this year. You're insane. And I'm stamping it. If Eli Tomac does not win this season, he's second place.
Oh, yeah. We can make another
1,000%.
bet. We can make another bet then on that. But well, I don't know if I want to bet that because I do like Eli, and there's some little comments he's shared this past Supercross season that makes me think this season he's literally gonna have a ball sack the size of a fucking whale.
Yeah.
He like his second place at Daytona when he was not hitting that quad section, and that's the whole reason Jet beat him with like 2 laps to go.
Hmm.
At the end, he's like, he basically said what
Didn't
he
have the
would have said
balls.
if it wasn't on TV. He said I was a fucking pussy and didn't hit
Yeah.
the quad, and I'm normally hitting that in my younger years, and I think this year he's saying it's my last year. Fuck it, I'm hitting all the jumps that
Yep.
Jet Lawrence is hitting,
I'm
and
sending it.
I'm sending it, and I
Yeah.
do think he's gonna do that this year.
I think I don't know how these dudes that are professional media in our sport, granted they're all freaking liberals in my mind, come at me as you will. How the hell do you say Eli Tomac is not a title threat this year? I don't care how good Jet Lawrence is. How do you say Eli Tomac is not a title threat? If you think him coming down to the wire in WSX, that's the other thing. Another reason I wanted to do this show. Everybody going into the final round of World Supercross was like, Eli Tomac doesn't stand a chance except for me and you. And it was like, do you not realize that he lost by like a few points? Eli
If there
Tomac,
was that one weird eighth place on the scoop tire, he needs to get over the scoop tire.
yeah,
By the way, it is.
yeah.
But if it wasn't for that eighth place, he would have been second overall.
Yes. Even there
Out
was
of
one.
everybody.
We were doing the math, and it was like if Eli would have won, and I think it was it Chase got second, and then Hunter got third, and Jet got fourth. Tomac won the title,
Yeah, there. Yeah, I mean,
which
it,
wasn't out of question. And it was like, oh yeah, no, this isn't possible for Eli Tomac to win. It was like, yes, it absolutely is. It
yeah.
1,000% is. If you're gonna sit here and try and tell me it's statistically impossible, I'll throw the money on it. It the guys that are counting out Eli Tomac right now, they're either not fans of the sport or they are so freaking biased to just the fondling of Jet Lawrence right now that they don't even know what they're talking about because Eli Tomac is a title threat this year. Eli Tomac will win multiple main events, and I am stamping he is either first or second in the championship. If anyone takes down Jet Lawrence, it is Eli Tomac.
That'd make me a happy guy.
I ride off
Without
into the
saying too
sunset, buddy.
much, without saying too much, I don't want to say because I want us to do our top 5 picks without each other knowing. I think we have an idea here of who's first and
Yep.
who's probably fifth, but 2
Let's
through
get into the
4
last one.
is up to debate.
Yeah.
All right, last guy. Let's talk about him for 45 seconds and move
I know.
on.
Neither one of us are fans, and there's going to be so many people in the comments. Oh my God, he's the
They
best
can go
rider
watch
ever.
any moto video in the last 2.5 years that exists on the internet if you want to hear
Yeah.
the glazing on Jet Lawrence.
Well, here he is. Here's everybody's favorite. Take a good look at him. There's the 18 with the ugly yellow and blue. I know you're a fan of it. I don't. I think it's disgusting. Jet Lawrence. Okay.
He's the best guy in the world.
He's the
right
best. He's the
now.
best in the world right now. I'm not taking anything away from Jet. He is the fastest rider on a dirt bike right now. He does things on a dirt bike we've never seen before. He is consistent. He is fast, but he's a absolute freaking drama queen peckerhead in my mind. I can't stand the kid. We just got done watching these interviews together. Every single other rider on the preview show had the decency and humility to say another rider they would pick from, and Jet was me, 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 me. Jet, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, dude. You're great. You're not fucking perfect. If you think you can go into this series and you're going to be perfect, you had the balls to say you were going to beat Jeremy McGrath's record as a rookie. You had the balls to then come out and say that you can go perfect in a Supercross season. Something Ricky Carmichael never did, James Stewart never did, Eli Tomac never did, Ryan Villapoto never did. Take a step back, swallow some pride, and be humble, dude, because you're going to lose races this year. And here's my crazy take. I know you think I'm insane for this. Jet is going to have a rough Supercross season. I think Jet is going to have what we consider in football a sophomore slump. There are some statistics I was going to go over. All of the greats in our sport, Chad Reed, Ricky Carmichael, James Stewart, Ryan Dungey, Ryan Villapoto, Eli Tomac, Cooper Webb, Ken Roxon, Jason Anderson, Jeremy McGrath. Can you tell me one rider that won their first two Supercross series?
No.
The
I'm gonna let you finish before I talk about him, but
the only Supercross rider in history to win their first two Premier Supercross championships, Jeremy McGrath. It's been over 20 years, 25 years since we have had someone win their first two Supercross championships in the Premier class. I'm going to give you some stats here. Chad Reed, second place his first season, first place his second season. Ricky Carmichael, 16th, 5th, and 1st in his first three seasons. James Stewart, 10th, 2nd, 1st. Ryan Dungey won his rookie year, went 3-3 the 2 years prior. Ryan Villapoto, 6-4-1. Eli Tomac, 18th, 13th, and 2nd. Cooper Webb, 13th, 19th, 1st. Roxon, 3-12-2. Anderson, 7-3-4. Jeremy McGrath, 1-1-1. It is statistically a
that's crazy.
huge,
The Cooper Webb
unlikely.
one.
Cooper
Well,
Webb
here's
won
the
his third
deal.
year.
I know, and it didn't even wasn't top 10 before that. That's crazy. But
No.
when it's not as crazy when you look at there's only been what 3 guys to win their rookie year.
There's
Is
only
that what
been
you, is that
three
what you just said?
champions that have won in their rookie season: Jeremy McGrath, Ryan Dungey, and Jet Lawrence. The
Yeah,
only
and
person who
one of
followed
those
it up.
and one of the two before Jet did win their second season. So statistically, rookies that can win
The only rider
their
to
rookie
ever win,
season, 50% of them have won their second one.
the only rider to ever win in their sophomore season in the championship was Jeremy McGrath and Chad Reed.
Yeah, but Jeremy McGrath won his rookie season,
Yes.
where only 3 guys in the world have done that, and
Mm-hmm.
one of them out of 2, because Jet hasn't had his yet, 1 out of 2 did win year 2. So
Yes.
50-50 of guys who won their rookie year won their second. When you look at it that
Yeah.
way,
But
I
there's
mean,
only ever been one rider in the history of Supercross to win 2 championships in their first 3 years, and that's Jeremy McGrath. Nobody has ever won 2 championships in their first 3 Premier seasons.
so yeah, but still Jet's your pick though.
Jet is 100% my pick, but what I'm
And if you
getting
think
at,
he's going to have a rough season and he's still your pick, then he is on track for
yes, I
Jeremy McGrath's
can't
record.
I can't if we're talking money, right? We're talking bets. I cannot go put my money on a different rider than Jet Lawrence. I'm not stupid. However, the stats line up and my beliefs line up to Jet is not going to have this spectacular second season. If I have to go put my money on a bet, I'm betting Jet Lawrence. However, my hot takes and my research I'm adding up here, there's a high possibility Jet doesn't get it done this year. Here's my reasoning. One, the stats show that it's never been done, other
High
than
like
Jeremy McGrath.
40% or like 15%?
As what?
Like, is your high percentage? Are you talking like a 40% high or like a 15 is
I
high?
would say the probability of Jet winning to not winning is like 65-35 right now. Because at the end of the day, he still has to get through 17 races. He has to beat
I
8
think
prior champions.
65-35 is probably right on.
Yeah.
Just because it is an individual sport,
Yep.
crashes happen.
Bikes
I
happen.
think
It's
that's
a new
right
bike. And I'm going to get into the reason why I think he has a sophomore slump. It's a new bike, which he has visibly struggled with. He went to, what was it, the OSX and struggled. Granted, he won every moto but one, but he visibly struggled. Who did he race, though? He raced his brother and Cooper Webb. He didn't race Eli Tomac, Chase Sexton, and everybody else. He raced he raced Webb, and he raced his brother. He crashed out. Last outdoor season, he crashed out. He had his first set of injuries. And then on top of that, he's just got this douchebag mentality this year of, I'm the best there's ever been. No one can beat me. And then the thing that drives me fucking insane right now is this bullshit he's pulling out of nowhere of I'm the foreigner and that's why I'm getting booed. You're getting booed because you're a dick, dude. You're not getting booed because you're from Australia. Chad Reed was a world class athlete that everybody freaking loved. Nobody hates you because you're Australian. I like your brother. I don't like you because you're a dickhead and you're constantly just putting on this persona of poor me because you're winning races. Dude, no one booed you because you're Australian. We booed you because you're an asshole and the bullshit that you did with Jason Anderson. That's and I think all this shit it's in his head. I think it's in his head and I think Eli is going to be so much better. Chase is going to be so much better. Webb's going to be better. These guys are going to beat him straight up and he's going to we've seen it. Jet struggles if he has to come through the pack. If Jet starts ninth place and he has to ride over his head to catch Jay Sexton, Eli Tomac, Cooper Webb, he's gonna weed up, dude. He's gonna eat shit.
I don't think so. I mean, he hasn't in the past. The dude's crashed what, like twice? I mean,
Dude. He took out Austin Faulkner midair. He
well, on his forfeit on the 450.
on the 450
450,
he only had one season. He got yard sailed by Barsha.
Well, I mean, he was perfect for a season. I mean,
outdoors. This is Supercross.
That's an hour of perfect riding for
Against
like 11 weeks in a row.
Chase Sexton wasn't healthy the whole season. And he didn't race the whole season. He beat Aaron Plessinger.
I mean, he wasn't. I mean, Chase was more healthy than not, but
No, he wasn't. Chase didn't even race every round, dude.
he didn't race like the first two or three, but he raced the rest.
And he wasn't 100% though. Chase had 3 rounds lost on Jet. I'm not taking anything away from him. He finished perfect, but it wasn't like he had all the talent there to challenge him.
I mean, Chase is the talent though. Like, who else is gonna be in that class?
If
Prado's
Eli,
the only one getting added.
If he didn't race Eli Tomac.
I guess for 1 year. I guess Eli's racing outdoor this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there will be 1 year where he has to race a healthy Eli outdoor.
He has to race Eli. He has to race Chase, a better Chase, and Chase did great outdoors last year. He has to race Jorge
Have they even raced
Prado.
together yet? Have
No.
Eli and
No.
Jet had one outdoor race together yet?
Not one.
That wasn't the Nations?
Well, sorry, the last 3 rounds of this last year where he came in late after the injury.
No, because Jet wasn't racing.
Oh, so yeah, Nations is it.
Jet and Eli have never raced
a pro
an
motocross
AMA
race.
pro motocross race together.
No.
Have they?
No. Last year, his rookie year where he won perfect, Tomac was out the entire season with the Achilles. Last year, he was out with the thumb until the last to third round.
Yeah,
Nations is their only race that they've done together.
Yeah.
So, like I said, regardless, we'll get into our picks now. We could talk about Jet forever and how much we don't like the kid. My problem is I don't think Jet, if I have to put my money on it, I'm putting Jet as a title favorite. However, I very, very highly see a future where Jet doesn't win this title due to self-brought on mental errors. He's going to kind of have like a Chase Sexton last year on Honda type year where he just has stupid crashes. He comes through the pack and gets caught up with riders and let's face it, he's not making friends in the class. Jason Anderson hopefully freaking takes him out a few times. Justin Barsha cleaned him last year. I mean, he's going to have some rides where he loses. But he's obviously going to be the favorite. So we'll get into title picks. Let's wrap this up. We're going over a little bit by what we wanted. I'll go first. Actually, I think I went first for 450s. Or for 250s. So let's see what you got for 450s.
Jet Lawrence, Chase Sexton, Eli Tomac, Cooper Webb, Jason Anderson. And the 5th place is tough because I could see it being Hunter Lawrence, but I'm going Jason Anderson. So That's my top 5. That's it. I would love to see Eli in second though, but just raw speed, I think Chase is really good. Man, I don't know. I actually almost want to switch Eli and Chase, man. You got me so amped up with Eli with your whole speech about the fastest dude on the planet.
That's why we do this.
You're not wrong. I do agree he's the fastest guy on the planet when he was at his best. He's gonna have the 8th and 9th place rides where he doesn't even crash, like 1 or 2 of them. And I think Sexton doesn't crash a lot I'm locking in
What?
Sexton number
Hold on,
two.
hold on, hold on. You said Chase Sexton doesn't crash a lot?
Well, I was gonna say didn't crash a lot last year, or I was gonna say doesn't crash on the KTM. Like he doesn't
I'll
crash on
say
the KTM
Chase
very much
Sexton
at
was
all.
freaking Sir Crash a lot the last couple seasons. So, all right, so
Yeah, but
lock your
not a
picks in.
lot on KTM. So
Lock
I'm
them in.
going Jet, Chase, Eli, Coop, Ando.
Okay. I'd be stupid not to say Jet. I want to say he's going to lose the title statistically, but I don't know how you can. Can I do two picks? Can I do like a what I want to see happen and
No,
what I think is going to
hell
happen?
no, hell no. You got 100 grand on the line. Who's your top five?
I think it's going to be Jet Lawrence, Eli Tomac, Chase Sexton, Cooper Webb, Hunter Lawrence. That's
Pretty
my
similar.
that's my realistic expectation. I would love to see anybody dethrone Jet Lawrence. I realistically think that Eli Tomac can and hopefully will, but that's realistically Jet's going to be unbeatable. So now we've done our picks. You guys have probably absolutely been screaming at the computer on some of these picks because we're not Jet fanboys. We're not Hayden Deegan fanboys. Going into A1, your podium for A1 for 250 West. Who do you got?
Podium A1, 250 West. Deegs, Kitchen. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Shimoda just because I think it takes Faulkner and Smith a couple rounds to get used to the bike.
Interesting. You think Shimoda starts the year on the podium, which has not been a thing.
Yeah, just because he's like the only guy out there on the same bike versus
Okay.
all the other top guys. I think he can. I think it's just he sucks at starting, but anytime he starts well, he finishes well. I'll go Shimoda third spot.
I'm going to go Hayden Deegan, Levi Kitchen, Austin Faulkner. 450s. I made you go first. I'll go first. Gosh. Jet Lawrence, Chase Sexton, Eli Tomac.
Jet Lawrence, Jason Anderson, Cooper Webb.
Wow. Okay, that is crazy.
Eli is
Damn.
never good at Anaheim.
He won
One
2022.
time. One time.
That was his last healthy Anaheim one.
Yeah, but one time in like 10 A1s. He's A1's always statistically it's horrendous. Like it's just a
I know.
crap show.
I almost just went crazy with it. It was like freaking Ken Roxon wins A1 because like some crazy shit's gonna happen. Justin Barsh is gonna win
Yeah, the worst that happens is we're wrong, but if we're right, it's like what the fuck? This guy was right. So
it.
Jet Lawrence. What did I say? Ando, Cooper Webb. That's what I'm doing.
Interesting. Do we know what the RM Fantasy wild card is for this weekend?
10th, and I put Justin Cooper. No, yeah, I put Justin Cooper. Although I think
Wow.
it's more likely a Justin Barsha, but I put Justin Cooper. Just he's gonna be a little nervous.
Okay, let's do fantasy picks then, because I think we're both.
No, I'm not gonna give my fantasy picks to the world.
Well, you
You're
just gave
trying
your
to. I'm
wild
trying
card.
to. Yeah, well, if you guys want to take it, then you're not gaining any points on me, so that's fine.
My wild card is Malcolm Stewart.
Yeah, it was between three for me: Malcolm, Barsha, and J. Coop.
Yeah. Damn, you put Jacob all the way in the back.
Well, think about who he's gonna have to beat, though. I mean, I know we're saying he's going to be potentially fifth or sixth in
So
points.
okay,
But
so who do you think beats him then? Because we've got Jet, Eli, Chase,
Jet,
Webb,
Eli, Chase,
Anderson,
Webb, Anderson,
Hunter.
Hunter, Kenny. Did I AP?
You got one more. So are you putting?
Malcolm. I think Malcolm beats him.
Really?
Malcolm's good at A1.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. I do not think any of those guys beat Cooper.
Yeah, we'll see.
It'll be fun.
Coop. Who do I have? I want to make sure I'm not blowing smoke out my ass. I do have Justin Cooper, so.
Well, cool. Well, all right,
And my
guys.
yeah, that was good. Good episode.
Yep. I hope there is plenty of you roasting us in the comments about how lame we are for not liking the bandwagon of Jet Lawrence.
But we still pick him to win
We
because we're
still
not
pick him. We're not
idiots.
stupid. We're not stupid. But I hope Eli Tomac. My hopefuls is Eli Tomac and Austin Faulkner, and then R.J. Hampshire. Those are who I want to see win the title. We will probably do a few Supercross companion shows. We'll probably do a few recaps. We might come back on here and do a pre-East mid-season update, I think. But I think we'll do a few Supercross companion shows. But let us know in the comments how crazy we are, how much you hate us because we don't like Jet Lawrence. Let us know about how Tomac is not going to win a race because you guys are insane and don't know statistics. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys here in a couple of days after the main event. Later.